ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येम अक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैर्तुष्टुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति नः इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नः तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः देवं नारायणं नत्वा सर्वदोषविवर्जितं परिपूर्णं गुरुंश्चान् गीतार्थं वक्ष्यामि लेशतः. So, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon for folks who have joined for Gita Chinthana. We have just finished our Gita 18 chapters Parayana over 2 hours and 45 minutes. So, all of us are quite charged up to join the chapter 9 part B Chinthana. A huge welcome to Dr. Purna Prasad ji, who is joined today, and he's also on video at this point of time. So, thank you very much for making the time. I think you're in the East Coast, right? So it must be early in the morning for you guys. So thanks again for taking the time and sharing your wisdom to this group. Just a brief introduction about Hindu Knowledge Academy. So this is a group that runs from the UK, and we have, it came into being around COVID time, and we've been going strong from strength to strength over the last 5 years. And our focus has been Upanishad Chinthana, inspired by Bannaji Govindacharya, whose photo I can see just behind Purna Prasadji's presentation. So we are all Paramasishyas of Bannaji. We were in Udupi actually in February, and we all had the unique opportunity of actually spending about an hour or so in Bannaji's house with his son showing us around and so on. So that was a beautiful trip to Udupi in early this year. So yeah, so we've been doing Upanishad Chintana over 5 years now. We have just finished Keno Upanishad, and we are going to be going to Aitareya from January. And between Upanishads, we've done several rounds of Gita Chintana, and this is the second Gita Chintana that we are doing at a greater depth in our satsang. So on that brief introduction about what Hindu Knowledge Academy is, I want to hand over to Jagadish ji for introducing the guest speaker of today. Over to you, Jagadish ji.
Thank you, Madhusudan ji. Thank you. Hari Om. Everyone, namaste to all of my dear Adhyatma Bandhus of Hindu Knowledge Academy. This is my great privilege and honor to welcome you to this satsang. My revered guru and beloved mentor, Dr. Purna Prasad, who I affectionately address as Purna Uncle. I have been blessed to know Dr. Purna Uncle personally for over a decade here in the US, while our family is known for him more than 3 decades now. Please allow me to share a few words about Dr. Prasad's inspiring journey and a life and his remarkable accomplishments. Dr. Purna Prasad, born in a prestigious Haridasa family, embodies a rich cultural and artistic legacy as the eldest grandson of the eminent scholar Gopinath Adasa, a luminary in Bharata music, dance, drama, and Harikatha. Dr. Prasad grew up in the traditions of Kannada and Samskrita literatures, drama, and music. His journey into the world of rhythm began at the tender age of 5 when he commenced his training in Mridangam under the tutelage of esteemed gurus such as Subramanya, Krishnamurti Iyer, and Vaipuri Devaru. By the age of 9, he was already accompanying musical ensembles led by his grandfather and participating in the production of epic dramas, dance that showcased his innate talent and dedications. Notably, productions include Punya Koti, Kindara Jogi, Mohini Basmasura, Dharma Bhumi, Karnataka Vaibhava, Srinivasa Kalyana, Sri Krishna Vaijayanti, and many more. His versatility and talent culminated in his starring role in the critically acclaimed film Madhvacharya, which was won accolades at both the Indian National and European film festivals. Additionally, he co-directed the music for this film alongside the esteemed musician Dr. M. Balamurali Krishna. Dr. Prasad's musical journey continued along cite his profound knowledge of Vedic philosophy, which he acquired under the guidance of the distinguished philosopher Dr. Banande Gunjacharya. His ability to integrate philosophical insight with his artistic and technological pursuit has enriched his work, making his discourses on the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and Bhagavata not only scholarly but also accessible and inspiring to a broader audience. His unique capacity to bridge ancient wisdom with modern scientific principles highlights the universality and relevance to both disciplines. Additionally, Dr. Prasad's contributions include, beyond his contributions to art and philosophy, Dr. Prasad has most significant strides in clinical information technology and biomedical engineering, impacting patient care and medical innovations. With over 30 years of experience, he served as Director of Clinical Technology and Biomedical Engineering at Stanford University Medical Center, with Clinical Technological Officer and Vice President for Information Technology at Northwell in Long Island, New York. Before funding Sterling Universal Group, under his leadership, Sterling Universal Group pioneered the design and development of first assertive robot in a medical facility, volumizing patient care and setting new standards in healthcare technology. Additionally, Dr. Prasad's contribution included computerized brain monitoring system, sleeping brain diagnosis, and integration of AI, machine learning, and robotics, and drone technology in medicine. These innovations have transformed clinical practice and improved patient outcomes, demonstrating his pivotal role in advancing medical technology. Dr. Prasad has a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, a master's degree in biomedical engineering, and a PhD in information technology. His prolific research has resulted in numerous publications and patents, solidifying his reputation as a leader and innovator in his field. Dr. Purna Prasad's remarkable journey is a testament to unwavering dedication to artistic expressions and technological innovations, by making him a pioneer in diverse endeavors. Thank you here, everyone. With that, I welcome Dr. Prasad, my uncle, to enlighten us with some of the essence of Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 9. Thank you, everyone. Uncle, take it over, please.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jayati Parashara Sunuhu Satyavati Hridaya Nandano Vyasaha Yasya Asya Kamalagalitam Vangmayam Amrutam Jagat Pibati Bhujaga Bhoga Bamudyamya Hridyam Nijabhujam Dakshinam Lakshanadhyam Lalita Mudrikta Vignana Mudram Bhaja Bhaja Anantamitya Lapantam Pranatavan Praninam Pranabhutam Pranatibhi Prinaye Purna Bodham Bhavadavoshnen tatapyamanan bhuvi param natham aprekshamanan bhuvanamanyena cha anyena doshna bhavatu bir maitina santvayantam pranatavan praninam pranabhutam pranatibhi prinaye purnabodham. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. My dear Adhyatmik Bandhus, friends, it's really a great privilege to spend some time with you, thinking and meditating on the most auspicious knowledge base, Bhagavad Gita. Whatever I am going to say today is an output of my training under the Abhinava Veda Vyasa, according to me, Dr. Vananja Govindacharya. This was an output of 30 years of his showering love and affection, pardoning me for all the faults, and accepting me for what I am. His training resulted in something that actually even shocked me. A perspective that he provided that I'm going to put in front of you today, hopefully will be helpful to you. The bottom line is, we can actually get expertise and scholarship in the Sanskrita language. We can pick words. We can decipher it using the Dhatu Pata, and analyze it until we are paralyzed. Krishna says it's absolutely of no use, because until you experience every sound of the Bhagavad Gita, because Acharya Madhva said every sound is an epithet of God. Until that happens, we could actually go on studying the Bhagavad Gita or play an audio track that basically tells Bhagavad Gita every day. Krishna says it's of absolutely no use. Then what is of use? What is of use is if you can incorporate those words of wisdom into your experience and walk the talk. That is the most important and the most difficult thing. It is wonderful we are going to spend some time here. It is fantastic that you went through the entire 700 verses and then you go back to your daily chores and forget what you have actually imbibed. How do we do that? That was the track that Acharya Madhva put everybody on, that very few caught on. And that is the track Acharya Bananjay actually put some of his very close disciples on. How do you experience the Bhagavad Gita and act and modify, and how does Bhagavad Gita become a part of your being? Now, that's a very difficult thing. But every step, the Upanishad says, is a step in the right direction. There is no retrograde here. There is always acceleration. There is always going forward. 18 chapters. And the beautiful Gita Tatparya by Acharya Madhva says, hey, 18 is a Vedic number. How? Oh, you got to pass through 18 filters, if you may, in order to realize the Paramatma. What are those? Well, you got it. You just have to recognize it. You have the five panchendriyas, jnanendriyas, five tanmatras, that is 15, 16 is you, jiva. You get to that, then, oh boy, you are in a good space. 17th comes Mother Lakshmi and 18th is Bhagavan. 18, everything is over. In Vedic mathematics, there is no number beyond 18. That is the end of the story. But the thing is, you can't get to it. I can't get to it. No, naham karta, hari karta. He has to take you there. As long as I is coming, then you are moving nowhere. When the letter I ceases and the word EYE opens, then everything starts working. What do you mean EYE? My eyes are always open. No. He's not talking about that. He's talking about the trifactor sight. Is that right? Yeah. The outside side, which everybody sees, whether you want it or not, you see it. He gave you the perception, he put the object in front of you, and he lighted it up. Fantastic. Beyond that, hey, you know what? There is an inner eye. Oh my God. And beyond that is the eye of the experience. For people who know Kannada, I want to tell this to you that Guruji beautifully coined. Horagannu, Vadagannu, then the third one that Rudradeva has, Tiligannu. Until you experience it, keep working, but with complete awareness that Bhagavan is the one making it happen. Don't you have any doubt, says Acharya Madhva, says the Upanishad, especially when you go through the Aitareya. It is basically a whiplash that you get. especially the Bhashya written by Shadguru Shishya, that Acharya Madhva himself refers, it is eye-opening. It is very humbling. It is also very saddening. What do you mean? I mean, I've done so many things. I can't say I. Naham karta, Hari karta. What do you mean? Who is that Hari? Oh, it's very simple. Everybody, that all encompassing energy that resolves everything. Yasya pariharati harihi. As simple as that. Why do we say Hari? Because he is the only one who can give you the parihara. And sure, he gave you the parihara through these wonderful 18 dimensions. Now, even here, that concept of a fivefold is maintained. This is something Guru Bananjay used to enlighten us. What are those five entities involved right now? We are all together. So, what are the five entities? Well, there is Krishna saying it. There is Arjuna, who is, a mediary listening to it. Then there is Bhagavan Vedavyasa, who has written for us. And there is Purna Prasad, and there is the rest of you. There are five dimensions which are playing here, which actually is amazing. So if you look at anything, it always comes in five dimensions. In the same way, the 9th chapter opens up an enormous amount of universe that one could spend their entire life meditating on. From the Vedic point of view, there is no number after 9. What do you mean? You just said 18. Yeah, those are 18 energy levels. Here is the 9. After 9, even in the modern mathematical realm, 10 is a combination of 1 and 0. There is only 0 to 9. Krishna so beautifully opens it up. He says, hey, you know what? I will give you 9 dimensions, 9 ways in which you can reach me, realize that I am in you. And comes this very famous Navavida Bhakti. So today, I think Harishji requested or said if I could speak something about Gnana and Bhakti. I don't have to toil much. In the 9th chapter, Krishna has opened it up in possibly the simplest possible way. And Acharya, Guru Bananjay Govindacharya basically put it in the simplest of the words, as if you are peeling an onion. I'll tell you what he basically taught us, and I'm sure it's going to be very helpful for you. Chapter 9 is it. After that, it is just a dimensional seep into each and every aspect. 9 is the midpoint, 0 to 18. The thing is, as you meditate on it, Gita opens up in such ways that it is going to enthrall you. And if somebody says, oh, I have read the Gita, just, laugh and be quiet, because one could never read the Gita. One can only experience it, and that experience lasts till hopefully we all meet our Creator, Mukti, the 18 steps. So what is this Navavida Bhakti got to do with our approach to Bhagavan? He hid this in 9. Acharya Madhva and Acharya Govinda took it out and put it in front of us. Shravanam, listening to the divine truth. What is the divine truth? The divine truth is just not what is written in the scriptures. The divine truth is you as a doctor, you as an engineer, you as a lawyer. What you are seeing in your real life is the divine truth. There is Bhagavan in everything. Good, bad, ugly, different. Well, good, bad, ugly, different, that is your perspective, my man, because of your limitations. There is nothing called as bad or ugly. As Purandaradasa said, Adidella Valite Aitu. All happens because of a divine reason. Some we understand, some we don't. And to accept that we don't understand, Acharya Madhva says, is the first step towards the realization of Narayana. We have a problem because we are born with a very huge treasure called as ego, and that's a treasure that doesn't go away so easily. Shravanam, the divine truth, so beautifully explained in the very first shloka. Idam tute guhyatamam pravakshямyanusuyave gnanam vignana sahitam yaj gnatva mokshase shubhat. Krishna himself says this is the king of knowledge and the king of secrets, pure, directly realizable, righteous, and easy to practice. It's very easy to practice. So, Shravanam begins with listening to the divine wisdom with faith that we are doing right now. All of us are listening to Krishna through Arjuna as given to us by Vedavyasa. Krishna, Vedavyasa are the very two dimensions of Bhagavan. Arjuna is Nimitta Matra. He is just an operational tool like us. Then comes Kirtanam, the glorification. And here in verse 16, Aham kratuhu, aham yagnaha, swada aham aushadam, mantraha aham eva, ajyam aham agnihi, aham hutam. So if you just read it, the literal translation, you open a dictionary, you say, oh, I am the ritual, I am the sacrifice, I am the offering, I am the medicine, I am the mantra, I am the ghee, I am the fire, and I am the oblation. If you are not careful here, if you do not have the assistance of Acharya Madhva, you're going to straight into the realm of complete confusion. I is not you. Who is I? Tvameva mata chapita tvameva. That is I. That is the I he's talking about. And that I is only realizable when EYE opens, as I said, especially the third dimension. As Guru Bananjay said, Tiligannu. Until then, keep working. Then the third one, Smaranam, constant remembrance. And in verse 34 of the 9th chapter, Matmanaha Bhavamat Bhaktaha Mat Yaji Mam Namaskuru Mam Yeva Yashyasi Yuktva Evam Atmanam Mat Parayanaha. Okay? Fix your mind on me, devotee. Worship me, bow to me, thus you shall surely reach me. If you read this lexicon meaning dictionary, it becomes nothing, with all due respects, a Sunday morning Bible study that most people do, or the Sunday morning Gita study that most people do. No. Here, he's saying, fix your mind on me. Any gnana, whether you are looking at technical knowledge, scientific knowledge, philosophical knowledge, there is a spirit behind it. That is what is called spirituality. There is a spirit behind force is equal to mass into acceleration. The Vedic rishis showed us that. They said the entire energy consortium is always constant, is always everywhere. And that is the energy that seeps through everything. Antar bahischa tat sarvam vyapya narayana stitaha. Who is Narayana? Narayana is not the calendar that you buy out of Gandhi Bazaar in Bangalore. Please, let me correct that right now. Narayana, Narayana, that seeps through everything. Guruji used to say Narayana is Nirayana because that is water. Water means it is not the physical water we see, it is the subatomic state that everything is reduced to. That seeps through everything. That is thermodynamics for you if you look at it properly. Antarbahishcha tat sarvam vyapya narayana stitaha. And that is exactly what he's saying. Matmana bhavamat bhaktaha. Always fix on me. Then the third stage is smaranam. Then comes padasevanam, service to the divine feet. Service to the divine feet. Where do you find it? You find it everywhere. Because he is Vishwarupi. He is Vishwarupi. That is why you find it everywhere. The great people found it in different aspects. Some find it in the words. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa found it in his own wife. But you see it everywhere. In yourself, in your parents, in your siblings, in your spouses, in your children. Serve them. Pada sevana. Pada means basically one aspect is, of course, the feet, but another aspect, pada, means dimension. That dimension is there in pada, the vibrations through which matter is created and the entire universe is created, the very cusp of the universal vibration, Om. That is pada sevana. Everywhere you see, everything you see, everything you work on. If you are working as a surgeon on a patient, you are serving the patient, Bhagavan, inside, you are there. Bless to make him better. Why? Voshadam Janhavitoyam Vaidyo Narayano Harihi. You as a doctor or a technician or whatever you're doing in serving the human being, you are only an instrument. You instrument the action. He cures. It cures. She cures. Use any gender. Everything is applicable to Bhagavan. As simple as that. There is only one God. Devam Narayanam Natva. You can call him Jesus, you can call him Allah, you can call him in anything you want, doesn't matter. But that concept of one Bhagavan, that is full of attributes. Narayanam Gunais Sarvaihi Udhirnam Dosha Varjitam. So beautifully said by Acharya Madhva. That needs to remain. You cannot ridicule anybody, you cannot condemn anybody, you cannot mistreat anybody because you cannot pain anybody. Because he is there, it is there, she is there in every entity. That is Pada Sevanam. You could be serving anybody as long as it is towards the greater good, Dharma. The next one, the fifth one, is Archanam. Worship or offerings. Patram Pushpam Palam, you know this, the 26th one. Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhakta Yupaha Tamashyami Prayatatmanaha. So, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhaktya Upahai Tamashyami Prayatatmanaha. Whoever offers me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water with devotion, I accept it with complete love. Why? Everything you offer has several dimensions. One, of course, to the very jiva that is going to be benefited, but also it adds on to your karma. You shall be given a cup of water if you have given a cup of water. You shall be given food if you have given food. You shall be hurt if you hurt. You shall be comforted if you comfort. Karma is unbiased, doesn't matter. When you say, please come, share what I have, things are going to be shared with you. That is the bottom line of karma. So that karma is so beautifully shown in the Archanam. The sixth is Vandanam, complete surrender. And that is in the 30th and the 31st verse of the 9th chapter. Apichet su duracharaha bhajate mam ananya bhak साधुः एव सः मंतव्यः सम्यक् व्यवसितः हि सः. The next one, क्षिप्रं भवति धर्मा आत्मा शश्वत शांतिं निगच्छति कौन्तेय प्रतिजानीहि न मे भक्तः प्रणश्यति. So it doesn't matter how a devotee is. Even if a devotee is of extreme bad conduct, if he worships me exclusively, he is to be regarded as righteous, says Krishna. He quickly becomes virtuous and attains eternal peace. Now, the bottom line is, my devotee never perishes. Do you mean to say I can just murder somebody and say, Krishna, I shall surrender to thee? If you are of the Jiva Swabhava saying, I shall surrender to thee, you will never commit that. That is the inside secret. The Jiva Swabhava, Satvika, Rajasika, Tamasika, that defines us, that will never change, practically shows that if you are a Satvika majority, you will never commit adharma. And that could be seen in our daily life. You don't have to say anywhere or see anywhere. In your daily life, just open that eye, you will see with all those interactions. So Krishna says, just make sure that you're kind to everybody, even to your enemy. Great examples, Rama and Krishna himself. After Ravana died, Rama told Vibhishana, finished the last rites. Vibhishana said, Rama, are you out of your mind? He stole your wife. He is the worst possible creation that you can even imagine. Let's just throw them to the animals. Rama said, no, Vibhishana, if you do not do the last rites, I will. It is only the punishment that he received was only reserved for the actions he did when he was alive. Now he is dead. He is older to me. He is like my brother. Will you do it or will I? Same thing with Krishna. After the Mahabharata war, goes to Dhritarashtra and says, bless me. Goes to Gandhari, says, bless me. Gandhari says, Krishna, you are responsible for the complete annihilation of my family and left me with 100 widows. Let your entire clan perish. Krishna says, Dhanyosmi Mata. The action, and that action so beautifully expressed in the Vandanam. Then complete surrender, Dasyam. The 27th verse in the 9th chapter, Yat Karoshi, Yat Ashnasi, Yat Juhoshi, Dadasi Yat, Yat Tapasyasi Kaunteya, Tat Kurushwamat Arpanam. Whatever you do, eat, everything, offer, give, or perform Do it like offering into me. That is the reason the word Krishnarpanamastu is so important. Somebody gives you something, Krishnarpanamastu. You give somebody to something, Krishnarpanamastu. You are put on an elephant, Krishnarpanamastu. You end up in the sidewalk, Krishnarpanamastu. For people who know Kannada, a great Dasarapada by Sripada Rajaru. Ittange iruveno hariye nanna toreye. This is the best medicine for Sat Chit Ananda. You give me something, great. You didn't give me anything, great. As long as I have your complete awareness. Awareness is the highest form of blessing. I am aware that He is always there, always in the present. The very first Sukta of Brahma Sutra. Athato Brahma Jignasa. Atha, always in the present. No past, no future. That realization, awareness needs to come in us. So here is Dasyam. The eighth is Sakyam. There, after Dasyam, after surrendering to him, you basically become his friend. Ninyako nina hangyako nina namada balavondiddare sako sakyam. It's a friend. When for a friend, I can actually say anything I want, but with lots of love. I don't need you. I only need your power. And then, the great Purandaras asks, who is your father? You are my father. Krishna, you don't even have a father. What a joke. This wonderful, they call it as Nindana Stuti. That is where you have reached a level where Bhagavan becomes your friend. Sakyam, very beautifully expressed in the 31st sloka. Kshipram bhavati dharma. Atma shashvat shantim nigacchati. Kaunteya pratijanahi. Name bhaktah pranashyati. Never, always. He becomes righteous and always attains me. My devotee never perishes. Devotion never perishes. Your consciousness that everything, consciousness is a bad word, sorry. Your awareness that everything is a part of Bhagavan. Here, the beautiful thing is, Vishwarupa gives you the form of Bhagavan. Rupa. Vishnu Sahasranama gives you the Nama. And Upanishad says the entire universe is Nama Rupatmaka Prapancha. You can actually deduce mathematically. Maybe in another session we can do some mathematics. And then you'll never call me back. Because mathematics, Sankhya Shastra, even modern mathematics, proves this so beautifully. That awareness inside, that everything has a form and a name. Without a form, you will not recognize it. Without a name, you will not recognize this. That is why Bhagavan provided to us two dimensions of knowledge. One is Vishwarupa, another is Vishnu Sahasranama. He described the Vishwarupa in several places, not only in Bhagavad Gita. Of course, Bhagavad Gita showed it to Arjuna. He describes the Vishwarupa that he showed to Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, to many of his very close friends like Akrura during the Kalinga Mardana, Bhagavata. And of course, the extremely lucky Dhritarashtra. There are some who were able to perceive certain aspects of the Vishwarupa even in Kurukshetra. But it all depends on your composition, which dictates or ascertains your ability, your Jiva Swabhava. It's a little difficult to accept, but that is the truth that Vedas are very, very clear about. And then the ninth one, after you have got the Sakyam, the friendship, then Atmanivedanam, total self-surrender, saying that you are a part of me, I am a part of you, I am only very, very, very limited Santa, you are unlimited Ananta. Beautifully showed in the 28th verse of the 9th chapter. Shubha Ashubha Balaihi Evam Moksha se Karma Bandhanaihi Sanyasa Yoga Yukta Atma Vimukta Hamam Upashyati. That bondage, you will be freed from the bondage. Bondage of what? I mean, nothing is binding me now. The bondage of ignorance, agnana. The bondage of good and evil actions. Liberated from both. The complete Atmanivedanam, the highest bhakti. We already have that, we just haven't realized it. We have not become aware of it because that I, ego comes. As Guruji used to say, if you want D at the end, the E has to go. Very beautifully explained. So you see the modern science in it. You see the Vedic science in it. Everything points to, as Acharya Madhva says, experience, anubhava satya. If you haven't experienced it, you will not be able to articulate. Number one, even if you have experienced, you may not be able to articulate Bhagavan. No bhayati, you can't, because it is beyond words. It is beyond expression. It is only in anubhava. That is why Upanishad makes a great statement. Do not deny my experience with your inexperience. Go experience it. Those are some of the things I wanted to touch upon, which I thought would be useful. Happy to, present anything else you have in terms of questions, if I know. If not, I will also learn and then I will share it with you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Dhanyosmi.
Dr. Purna Prasad, fantastic, very, very engrossing lecture over 45 minutes. Thank you so much again for taking the time, sharing your wisdom and your journey through life with Dr. Bananji Govindacharya. So I'll open up today's session for Q&A. Anyone wants to go first? Perhaps Harish ji, you are.
Yeah, I can
you
go first.
please.
Thank you again, Purnaji, for very beautiful talk. When you talk about bhakti and also about experience. So one of the things that many of us struggle with is, if we had a strong experience, then bhakti becomes a lot easier. So how do we solve this chicken and egg problem, right?
It's a fantastic question, because the highest form of bhakti is anubhava, says Acharya Madhva. Those two are the faces of the same coin. When you have the highest form of bhakti, which is Atmanivedana, as the Gita says, then that actually is the direct anubhava and experience. Those two are not different at all. They are just the two dimensions of the same coin. See, the problem is bhakti is misunderstood, and that's why our kids hate us, because we say, get up in the morning, okay, take a bath, okay, did that, okay, now stand here in front of this stone, okay, now take that red powder and yellow powder and put it on the stone. So they may do it because they don't want to piss you off, but in the end they say, Dad, Mom, really? And in many of the cases, unfortunately, the parents don't know how to explain, and a fight ensues. So that Atmanivedana, to know that the Bhagavan's Namarupatmaka Prapancha is there in everything, every epithet. So starting with that would be very helpful. Great question. Thank you.
Anand.
Namaskara, sir. Thank you very much for enlightening us on the number 9 and various aspects of number 9.
Hare Krishna.
My question is around 932 when you said, Papa Yonaha, those who have committed sins will, will start worshipping Lord, they'll get rid of the sins, and you said it's a Jiva Svabhava, they're basically sattvics. They will not even attempt to do those sort of sins. But we see in the scriptures, like Ajamila was a sattvic guy. He committed lots of sins. Probably it was his prarabdha karma. That was one question of mine. Part two was
which is the person you were talking about? I didn't catch the word.
Ajamila.
Ajamila. Ah, yeah.
So he was a sattvic soul.
Yeah.
Basically, sattvic soul. Yet he committed sins.
Yeah.
Or probably it was related to his prarabdha karma. That was my first question. The second one, the verse also says women, Shudras and Vaishyas. That puts us into a difficult situation when we are trying to talk to colleagues.
Absolutely. So this is the 36th one, correct? Which one?
32nd, I think.
32nd. Yeah. Let me open the Acharya Madhva's bhashya here. I think you get the best explanation there. Let me just go to that. So the 32nd, which is Mam hi partha vyapashritya ye api syu papayonayaha striyaha vaishyaha tata shudraha te api yanti param gatim. Here, the very important thing is, and you're very correct, it can make confusing if you are looking at it just from the lexicon meaning point of view. See, here, Krishna is not speaking about a woman in general or womanhood itself. Women are not sinners, absolutely not, because we start the Vedas with Matradevo Bhava. The reference here is to beings, human beings, who, because of some sins or curse, are compelled to take a particular birth. Upanishad speaks about this. We can talk about it. It's a little deeper. A male born as a woman due to a curse, it is called Stri Papayoni, is not the same as a woman born as a woman. So ordinary women are not included, or the general womanhood is not included here at all. And there are anecdotes in Upanishads where women that are born as men. And this is because of the prarabdha karma. Acharya Madhva clarifies this. And Upanishad, basically, when you go through it, there is complete clarification. It is not to the whole womanhood. It is to women who are born because of their prarabdha karma. I just want to clarify one thing about shiksha. So in Samskrita, the real word is shikshana. Bhagavan loves all his children, everybody. Some needs a little bit of tougher love, if you may. Some get through it easier because of their jiva swabhava. We have experienced this with our own children. Some of our kids, easy, pass through, no problem at all. Some of them, oh my God. They take every ounce of energy in us, and that is true with any human being. So whether it is male or female doesn't matter here. Bhagavan is referring to the strees who are born because of their prarabdha karma. He's very clear on that. And unfortunately, when Vedavyasa writes this, clarification definitely needs to be studied by the Acharya to make sure that a very credible confusion, Anand, that you put together doesn't seep through. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Anandji. Perhaps maybe I'll want to just get your thoughts on this, Purna Prasadji. So, Navavida Bhakti, and you so beautifully articulated the stage from Shravanam up to Atma Nivedanam. So, it's a big ideal. The only Acharya is Ekanta Bhakta. And Nyaya Sudha has given a classic definition of bhakti as to what that bhakti actually is. So for mundane souls like us, what is our rank of bhakti? If there is a taratamya in bhakti, what is our taratamya in this equation, and how do we go and find it? Do we get stuck at Shravanam itself? Because Atma Nivedanam is a big deal. And only Hanuma, Bhima, Madhva have actually demonstrated that in their avatar swarupas and not anybody else. So how do we reconcile this?
Absolutely. A great question. As we studied Naham Karta, Hari Karta. If one is in Shravanam, another is in Atmanivedanam, another is Atmanivedana is a complete blessing, which is equivalent to, as Harishji said, a realization that, of course, Brahmavayu, Acharya Madhva, they are in a different cadre, but Ramayana shows that Bhagavan has elevated bhaktas to that level, which is Shabari herself. Jatayu, if you read the original Valmiki's interaction, his explanation about Rama's interaction with Jatayu, you will start crying. When Jatayu dies, Rama basically sheds tears and he performs the last rite. What does it mean? If for all of us, our last rites are performed by Agni Narayana and nobody else, only he can. But to realize that as you're leaving this mortal body is only possible through Atma Nivedana. Jatayu knows this. Shabari knows this. Unfortunately, Dasharatha didn't. And this is a wake-up call. Even in Mahabharata, there are lots of examples. The greatest I can think of Atmanivedane was one may consider him as, he was on the side of Adharma, Bhishmacharya himself. As he left the body on his own will, who was there in front of him? Bhishma knew it was Krishna. Bhishma had performed the Agra Puja, but Bhishma did not want to break that vow. I am going to guard the throne, what may come. So, great question. The thing is, Madhusudanji, we don't know what stage we are in. The very fact that all of you are getting together and doing Bhagavad Shravana, Bhagavad Gita Shravana itself has elevated you to a much higher level. Some may have realized it, some may not have, but everything enabled by our Jiva Swabhava, by Krishna. So here, the effort that is needed is complete surrender. Complete surrender doesn't mean to say I'm going to sit at one place and do nothing. No. Bhagavan, enable me to be able to realize you. Ninyako nina hangyako nina namada ballavam diddare sako. That's the inner meaning of this. I need your nama. What is the meaning of nama? Na mama, that I am not there, everything is you. Na mama. So, you know, I will take this liberty to tell Madhusudan ji, all of you are at a much higher level. It is good to have that humility and say, oh, that is okay. But always realize we are reading Bhagavad Gita because Krishna and Vedavyas are sitting with us here. Without their presence, there is no way we would even utter a single epithet of anything. Bhagavan sits here, talks through me, hears through you, talks through you, and then hears through me. We are only upadas, only operators, instruments. Great question, but that realization needs to be there. Acharya Madhva clarifies it, and Bananja Guruji has clarified it a million times. The reason he used to make it a little harder on us. He used to say, the reason you're sitting here and not sitting in some pub or bar is because you're blessed.
Thank you
And
very
which
much.
is the truth. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Veena Suresh, and then we'll go to Deval afterwards.
Thank you, Dr. Amin. Thanks for the wonderful explanation. Question I have is, as you rightly said, it is Harikarta for us to get into the bhakti mode or do whatever we do. It is only through the grace of God. But he very clearly says that you need to follow the Shastra. Yadi Shastram Utsrajya Nasarte. I mean, if you don't follow the Shastras, there is no way.
Yeah.
But then he further says that, which is follow Dharma. But to know what is Dharma, what is Adharma, what is Vidharma, he says even the best of the souls can't decipher this. Arjuna had Krishna next to him, perhaps the only one who had a clear definition and meaning of all these three terms. When it comes, what does it practically mean? How do we, distill this, and how do we, make sure that we are heading in the right direction?
Great question. So, the gnana and the realization depends on our capacity. We all have our capacity. We can actually go to the ocean. This is from the Upanishad. You cannot get all the water in the ocean. But Acharya Madhva says, if you take, a small container that you can carry that. That is the jiva. We are all Santa limited. He is Ananta. Even Arjuna cannot understand Bhagavan completely because even Arjuna, who is a Mula Swarup of Indra, is limited. He also has an end. Brahma, Vayu have an end. We are all jivas. The only two that doesn't have a beginning or a end is Paramatma and Mother Lakshmi. So all of us have a limit. We can only reach that limit called Swapurnate. Once we reach that limit, that is our emancipation or moksha. So when he says you cannot realize everything, true. It is only up to our capacity. And that enabled by our Jiva Swabhava. And the gardener that keeps the Jiva Swabhava on the track is Bhagavan. Jiva Swabhava is not created. Both Paramatma and Jivatma, Acharya says, even the Purana says, are uncreated. What does that mean? It is not bound by space and time. So when you start with this fundamental tenet, then the things become a little comprehensible, but you need to meditate on it continuously. Says Madhva, says Vedavyasa, says the Puranas. So, Devaji, don't ask me, Purna, have you realized your Atma Sakshatkara? Absolutely not.
Devalji, thank you. Devalji.
I think my question was partly what Suresh ji just asked. But just taking it, sorry, I'm a beginner in this journey. So
No
my
worries.
question is, then is bhakti directly linked to the Jiva Swabhava? So you will have bhakti because that is in your Jiva Swabhava. So then you can't, is there something you can do to influence it, to have more bhakti?
The great question. The realization of the bhakti inside you basically takes you to a position where you are complete. The Shanti mantra Purnamada Purnamidam presents itself in two dimensions. One to the dimension of jivas, another to Paramatma. For the jivas, Purnate is limited to the capacity of the jivas as determined by the three factors. Jivas traigunya bajaha paramagati jo nityabadvastamogaha satvarajas and tamas. Once you realize that, then it is your purnate, your complete. Once the jiva sakshatkara is there, then you are with Bhagavan all the time, which means to say Bhagavan is always there with you, but that realization is not bound by time and space. That's what the Upanishad says. It was very wonderful when you said you are a beginner, but the fact of the matter is there is no beginning, there is no end to the Adhyatma Chintana.
So one follow-up, I had, to the Devil's question is that so because I think at the end of the day, that's all what many of us are struggling with, right? So if there is ichcha, but there is neither swabhava nor capacity, then can you actually fake it till you make it, or do you have to just accept your swabhava and your limitations?
Icha itself is dependent on your swabhava. The swabhava manifests itself in you yearning for something. So, if there is icha, that means to say there is something that swabhava in it. When the kid comes and says, Dad, I know you are a doctor, an engineer, but I want to become a musician, I love it. So 98% of us don't recognize this and say, is this going to put food on your table? Shut up and music you can. But unfortunately, we will be denying the world of the next Bhimshan Joshi or Ravi Shankar or Balamurali Gurugulu. That is the problem. Krishna basically identifies that very clearly. That Jiva Swabhava, that passion, recognize it. And you garden it through me, then you will get a contributing citizen, a dharmic jiva. Yeah. It's completely, interconnected. One doesn't come with nothing is exclusive. Everything is relativistic.
Thank you, Purnaji. So today we discussed nine Navavida Bhakti. Last week we were discussed about 9 types of hatred to Paramatma. So last week, we've been having this series on chapter 9. Last week we discussed the 9 different types of hatred, and then the first rank in that hatred is I am God.
Absolutely.
Yeah, claiming yourself to be God is the first hatred to God, and it ranks number 1 among hatred. And then we have our system where you complete surrender to a being. You are nothing and he is everything. With Jnanottara Bhakti is there. And then you have the Visishta Dvaita, which doesn't have to necessarily bring jnana into this equation, but just say prapatti, just surrender alone. So you have one school which says I am God, and that is so there is no role for bhakti at all in that school in the hardcore philosophical sense. And in the other school is you don't need jnana, you just fall flat and that's it. Your job is done. You will be in Vaikunta. But our Acharya has given a very tough path for us. You have to have jnana, you have to have, then crystallize that into bhakti and so on. So this hatred and bhakti is quite interesting. I just wanted to understand what your view on this is about the various three strands of Vedanta here and the roles of bhakti. And how do we strike a middle ground here? Do we need to go out there and say, look, guys, this is the bhakti that Acharya has said?
No, no. You can say it, Madhusudan ji, but don't expect everybody to actually understand, experience it. One thing is, hatred is ignorance. That's all. Bhagavan, he says, I love people who hate me. Gayatri Mantra says, please protect people who even don't believe in this. So, yeah, hatred comes from ignorance, and ignorance basically comes from ego. And ego, comes from all the great Arishad Vargas that we are endowed with. Now, these Arishad Vargas that are the main cause, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara, can be turned against Bhagavan or towards Bhagavan. So Acharya makes it very clear in some of his Tatparyas, which is beautiful. So hatred is pure ignorance. And Acharya says, if somebody hates you, be compassionate to them. As Krishna says, the muditata upeksha, right? Love them, karuna muditata upeksha, or try to cry with them, try to laugh with them. But if they are so bad, just stay away. Don't hate them. Hate is a word that has no presence in our Sanatana Dharma. Absolutely not.
Thank you very much, Purnaji. Deval, you had a question.
Say it again.
It's okay. I think that conversation, I was going to come to Prabhava. It's all right about Swabhava, but there is an influence of Prabhava.
Yes.
So that was what I was going to ask, but
Yeah.
I think other people have questions.
Right. Yeah. It's a Swabhava plus karma lands you in an environment that has the Prabhava in you. Again, Krishna Amrita Maharanava is one goes through that, you'll understand it very clearly. It was actually written for somebody who did not accept Acharya's, whole doctrine of Bhinnascha, Bhinnadharmascha, who was a very close student of him. So, Yadapattaraya, for him he wrote it, but very beautiful. It's only quotations and direct inference from the Puranas. There he answers, what is Swabhava? Why does Swabhava have an impact? Why does one end up in a certain environment which impacts that, Prabhava? Yeah.
Thank you. Anandji?
I just wanted to make a comment, Madhuji, about Purna Prasadji. You said you addressed God as he, she, or it. But Acharya Madhva says the gender is associated with the jiva. So there are male jivas and female jivas. It's not a question; it's a comment that truly represents the bimba pratibimba in the school of Tattvavada.
Yeah.
How do you explain that in the monoistic schools?
You should never try to even explain it to any people who do not want to listen. People who want to listen are open-minded. They say, okay, let's discuss. Charcha is different from Vitandavada. Acharya says there are different types of argument. If there is Vitandavada, you're wasting your time. If it is a charcha, if there is an open mind, then definitely you can actually say, here is the perspective. This is something that cannot be logically proved or disproved. When you bring logic into Sanatana Dharma, then you have defeated it right in the first step. This Vakyartha and logic is the most useless exercise, says Acharya Madhva, because he very beautifully, explains it in his Sarvamula. Nahi tarkena bhagavan asti iti sadhayatum shakyate. Can never prove it. Yadi shakyate nasti ityapi sadhayatum shakyate. If you can prove it, you can disprove it. Anumanam hi tarko nama. That is probably the best definition for logic. Basically, logic is nothing but casting a doubt. That's all. Pratyaksham va agamam va anusrityamanam anuma. He just completely beheads it right in the beginning. Because if you are going through logic, if you are smart enough, you can use that logic to prove that Vedas are completely meaningless. It's not difficult. But that gets you nowhere. But when you experience it, then the truth is realized. Truth can only be realized. That's why the biggest um, you know disadvantage of our modern mathematics is it can only work where systems are linear. You take non-linearity, everything goes to dust. Even non-linear system, it's that's all we have. We take a non-linear system, break it into small pieces, and just try to use the linear mathematics. It doesn't work. Einstein basically showed it very, very clearly, and that's the reason, even though he created quantum mechanics, he hated it, because non-deterministic approach is something that is very, very disturbing. Deterministic, we don't, because we don't have the Purna Gnana, and we try to use a tool called mathematics that only works with linearity with 100,000 assumption. So here is the reality of our training ground that Bhagavan has put us.
Thank you. Neeta Shushuji.
Okay, this is more than a question. It's a request, actually. Two things. One is, what was your experience playing Madhvacharya? How did you find that experience? In that movie. And the second request was just one line of Vande Vandyam Sadanandam. I don't know how many times I have watched that, and it's just wonderful watching that song, the YouTube of the movie.
Yeah. Madhvacharya was basically graduate work for me. 2.5 years of probably the most blessed, the most rigorous time under Guru Bananjay's direction, and amongst probably the greatest scholars, including Guru Bananjay's own Guru, Sri Vidyamanya Tirtharu. I came there into the scene because of my lineage and everything, which I was very blessed. And Pejavara Sri Vishweshwa Tirtharu tying me up with a rope and not allowing me to do anything but to accept, which was all in blessings. Bananjay Guruji trained me for about 6.5 to 7 months to practically get me to at least appreciate what I'm doing. It was very rigorous. It was tough. In the beginning, I had a lot of doubt. I expressed it. But the only reason I got a confidence is Bananjay Guruji said, I will be in front of you for every frame. I told him, you are asking me to do something impossible. Acharya Madhva is not in my reach under any circumstance. He says, no, Acharya Madhva wants you to play this. So I could not refute that. It was about 2.5 hours of blessing. And we spent almost 1.5 months in Badri. And that was a blessing that, I can only be grateful for Bhagavan, for Acharya Madhva, Vedavyasaru, and Bananjay Guruji. I was not going into the cinema field. That was not the intent. Of course, I was in the dramatics because of Prabhat Kalavidaru, my grandfather's creation. I'd done a lot of drama, dance dramas, everything. Cinema is not my medium, but because of Acharya Madhva's, directive and Guru Bananjay's directive, I was blessed with that. The experience, we can get together in a session. I can go frame by frame. It'll take hours together to explain how each and every frame was conceived. And because there is the audio part of it, which is why Yamasama is coming, why Shwanasama is coming, what is the relevance to that frame itself that you're seeing, what is the mental status of Acharya, whether it is among the three percepts of Om, Echara, Kanasu, or Nidre. Or is it Akara, Ukara, Makara, Nada, Bindu, Kala, Shanta? At certain places in Madhvacharya, everything goes silent. That is Atishanta. So there was an hour lecture by Acharya Bananjay, both during the National Film Festival and the Award Festival, so that people could understand the movie. It was not a movie made for the ordinary audience, and of course, G.V. Iyer being a genius, he practically absorbed everything that Acharya Bananjay had put in the screenplay. And
Second request, I don't know.
Vandyam was shot at 1 o'clock at night. So it was shot between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock when nobody enters the temple. I should be saying this, but that's the fact. And it was a little tough because I had all the Ashtamata Swamis, looking at me, which made me extremely not uncomfortable. I don't know, scared, concerned, whatever. And then somebody who is like a brother to me, I shouldn't say it, he's a sannyasi who is very close to me, Putigeshri, couldn't make enough jokes and laugh about it, which I was extremely pissed. But it was it was a great experience. Yes. What was your second request?
No, that was the request to sing that, but it's okay. The time, one line of Vande, but that's fine.
You can hear Guruji singing himself. Balmali Guruji singing himself. I am not a singer. I'm a mridangam player.
Sure.
Happy
That's
to
fine.
just sing that to
Yeah, that's fine. No, just we have watched it so many times. Thank you so much.
Sure. Srimadananda Tirtha Bhagavat Padakrita Sri Dvadasha Stotram Vande Vandyam Sadanandam Vasudevam Niranjanam Indirapati Madhyadi Varadesha Varapradam Vande Vandyam Sadanandam Vasudevam Niranjanam Vande 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 Srimadananda Tirtha Bhagavat Pada Virachita Sri Dvadasha Stotram Yathashakti Tava Padacharanam Sarvam Samarpayami. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful.
On that beautiful note, I was going to hand over to Harish Ji to do a vote of thanks.
Thank you. So on behalf of all the satsangis in the Hindu Knowledge Academy here, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to you, Dr. Purna Prasad Ji, for taking the time to join us today and for sharing your thoughtful insights on Tattvavada and specifically on Bhagavad Gita in chapter 4. Your reminder of experiencing the Bhagavad Gita and incorporating it into our lives, really resonated. And your explanations of the Navavidhana Bhakti, brought a new dimension of clarity and depth and appreciation, for what we are, right now learning in this chapter. Again, thank you for guiding us through the richness and practical relevance and getting us to, reflect on this, in a deeper way. Again, we really value your presence. And the insights you've changed. We hope to see you again, Dr. Purnaji.
Just the last mantra, if you don't mind. Hari Om Kayana Vacha Manasindriyerva Buddhyatmana Va Anusrita Swabhava Karomi Yadyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayana Yeti Samarpayami Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu Dhanyosmi. Thank you very much.
Krishnarpanamastu Dhanyosmi.
Thank you very much. So we look forward to hearing you frequently in our sessions, Purna Prasad Ji. Thank you very much again. So Harish, could I request you to recite Om and we'll close today's session?
Om. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. See you next Sunday for part C of chapter 9. Stay safe and catch you next Sunday. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.